Okay, so let's continue on with using because or because of. The first one is done for us. Anna couldn't sleep or could not sleep because the baby was crying. Number 2, I couldn't go to work because or because of my car broke down. So I would say I couldn't go to work because my car broke down. Number 3, we couldn't go out either because or because of the bad weather. So I would say we couldn't go out because of the bad weather. Number 4, Tanya needed a ladder because or because of the broken light. So I would say Tanya needed a ladder because of the broken light. Number 5, Joseph couldn't or could not take a vacation because or because of his busy work schedule. So I would say Joseph couldn't take a vacation because of his busy work schedule. Number 6, Marietta didn't or did not come to class because or because of she had a bad headache. So I would say Marietta didn't come to class because she had a bad headache. Alright, so those are the ones that I chose. Hopefully you got the same answers. Alright, let's move on and continue to practice. So number 3, rewrite the sentences. Use the words in parentheses, right? So these are the parentheses, right? So let's look at the first one. It's done for us. We couldn't sleep because it was noisy, right? So now we need to rewrite the sentence and use the word in parentheses. So instead of noisy, we need to write the noise. So in order to write the noise, we have to rewrite the sentence. Okay? So they've done that for us. We couldn't sleep because of the noise. Alright? So we change because to because of. Alright? So now it's your turn to practice what we've learned about because and because of. So let's pause the video, take some time, and complete 2 through 6. Alright? And if you have any problems with this or you have more questions, let me know. If you want to share any of your answers, that would be great. And we can all learn together. Alright? But let's go ahead and pause the video and complete this. Alright? And then we'll come back and we'll move on. Alright, so let's do that. Alright, so now we're on page 33 in our workbook. Alright? And we're going to continue on with number 4. Complete the sentences. Use because or because of. Okay? So now we have to choose which one fits best in here. Either because or because of. Hopefully this is getting a little bit easier. The first one is done for us. Teresa or Teresa couldn't or could not sleep last night because she had a headache. Alright? Makes sense? So let's pause the video. Let's complete 2 through 5. And then when we come back, we'll go over these together and see how you did. Alright? So let's pause the video now and complete 2 through 5. Okay, so let's see how we did. Kiesel couldn't lock his door Is it because or because of he lost his keys? I wrote because. Kizo couldn't lock his door because he lost his keys. Number 3. We moved to California. Is it because or because of my husband's job? So I chose we moved to California because of my husband's job. Number 4. William couldn't or could not drive his car. Is it because or because of the broken door? So I wrote down William couldn't drive his car because of the broken door. Karen likes her neighborhood. Excuse me. Karen likes her neighborhood. Is it because or because of it is safe at night? So I chose because. Karen likes her neighborhood because it is safe at night. Alright, so those are my answers. Hopefully we have the same answers. Alright, so let's continue on. Complete the sentences. So we're in number 5. Use because or because of and the words from the box. Alright, so let's look here. We have 6 pictures. Right? We have 2 people. They look like they want to go to the supermarket, but it's closed. We have 2 people who want to play baseball, but it's raining outside. We have, it looks like a mother and a son about to celebrate a birthday with a birthday cake. Number 4 is a lady looking out her window, maybe at her neighbor's house, and there's smoke. So she's on the phone. Number 5 is a guy who's in bed. Looks like he's sick with a thermometer in his mouth. And then number 6 is a picture of people online to go see a movie. Looks like a long line. Okay? So before we complete the sentences, right, let's look at our word box and let's make sure that we can pronounce these phrases and clauses correctly. Alright? So the first one is, he was sick. He was sick. Second one, it was closed. It was closed. Now we have a clause. It was her son's birthday. It was her son's birthday. The rain. The rain. The smoke. The smoke. And then another clause. There were so many people. There were so many people. Okay? So now, let's complete the sentences. Use because or because of and the words from the box. Okay. First one is done for us. They couldn't go to the supermarket because it was closed. Alright? So let's take some time to pause the video and complete 2 through 6, and then we'll come back and we'll go over it together to see if we got it correct. All right. So let's pause the video now and do 2 through 6, and then we'll come back. Okay. So hopefully you had some time to do 2 through 6. So let's go over them together. All right. So we're going to be using these pictures to answer these sentences and filling in the blank parts using the word box. All right. So the first one was done for us. So let's look at number 2. They couldn't play baseball. Let's look at the picture. So number 2, they couldn't play baseball. I chose because of the rain. Okay, because of the rain. They couldn't play baseball because of the rain. Number 3, she made a cake. So number 3 here, she made a cake. And I wrote down because it was her son's birthday. Right? She made a cake because it was her son's birthday. Number 4, my neighbor called 911. So this right here. My neighbor called 911. I wrote down because of the smoke. Because of the smoke. My neighbor called 911 because of the smoke. Number 5, he couldn't go to school. So that's number 5 here. Looks like he's in bed. He couldn't go to school. I chose because he was sick. Okay, because he was sick. He couldn't go to school because he was sick. And then number 6, we had to wait a long time. So right here, there's people at the movies. We had to wait a long time because there were so many people. Because there were so many people. We had to wait a long time because there were so many people. Alright, so hopefully you got the same. I know that using because and because of can be a little tricky. So that's why I wanted to spend some time on that. Alright. Now, and also remember, you can always email me or send me a message in WhatsApp if you have questions or you need some more practice. Okay? Alright, so now we're going to move on to Lesson C. Alright, Lesson C, Unit 3, Review. Alright, so let's start off in our student book. Alright, page 36. We're going to be talking about adverbs of degree. Adverbs of degree. So let's see what they want us to do here. Our grammar focus is using to and enough. Okay, to and enough. So they want us to use to plus the adjective to talk about more than the right amount. Right? So more. The meaning is negative. Use the adjective plus enough to talk about the right amount of something. So just enough, right? Use not plus the adjective plus enough to talk about less than the right amount. All right, so if it's not enough, right, then you can use not the adjective plus enough to talk about the less than amount. All right? The meaning is negative. Okay. I suggest you scan this barcode here and watch the video to get some more meaning behind this if you're not sure, or if you don't really remember how to use the word to or the word enough. Okay? Before we look in our examples, let's see what they mean when they some examples of adjectives. All right, because they say use to plus an adjective, right? Use adjective plus enough, right? And then they say use not plus the adjective plus enough. So let's look at what an adjective is, an example of one, right? So adjectives describe the noun, right? Help to describe the noun, right? So let's say the noun is car, okay? Car, the vehicle, right? Car. So big car, adjective is big. It helps to explain the noun, right? Big car. Close, right? Close car. Expensive car. Experienced car. I don't know how we would say that, but experienced car. Far car means it's far away. High car means it's really tall. Okay? Let's look at this note here. Use the shorter sentence when the listener knows what you are talking about. Example, the ladder is tall enough. Okay? So use the shorter sentence when the listener knows what you're talking about. Okay? So now let's look at our examples of to and enough, how to use these. So remember, when we use to, we use to plus the adjective, all right? Meaning it's more than the right amount, all right? So the example is, the ceiling is too high, okay? Or it's too high to reach, okay? So the ceiling is too high, that's formal. And if the listener knows what we're talking about, then use the shorter sentence, right? So I could also say it's too high to reach. It's would be the ceiling. Okay? Or it is would be the ceiling. Let's look at enough. How do we use enough? We use adjective plus enough. All right, so the adjective comes first. The ladder is tall enough. Okay? It's tall enough to reach the ceiling. All right? So we use this one when the listener knows what it is. Okay? So in this sentence, it's or it is the ladder. All right? It's tall enough to reach the ceiling. If we want to use enough in a negative way, right, meaning it's not enough, right, we use it not plus the adjective plus enough. Here's our example. The woman is not tall enough. Or, she is not tall enough to reach the ceiling. All right? So, we've gone over to and enough, and how to use to, enough, and not enough, right? Not plus the adjective plus enough. Not tall enough. All right, so let's move on. Let's start to practice. Let's look in our workbook on page 34. Lesson C, adverbs of degree. If you want more explanations, you can always turn over in your workbook to page 132 in the back of the book, and that will help you to get more of information about to and enough. Okay? So let's ease into this. All right? Let's talk about the adjectives. All right? Here they also say adverbs. Write the opposites. So remember, we're writing opposites here, right? So before we do that, let's look in our word bank here, and let's make sure we know how to pronounce these words correctly. First word is close. Close. Next word is hot. Hot. Small. Small. Strong. Strong. Tall. Tall. Young. Young. All right? So, now that we know how to pronounce these words, let's write the opposites here. All right? So the first one is done for us. The opposite of cold is hot, right? The opposite of short is tall. The opposite of big is small. The opposite of weak is strong. The opposite of far is close. And the opposite of old is young. Alright, so remember, we're doing the opposites, and these are the answers. Okay, so let's move on to number 2. Alright.